right. Let's see here. Fuck out of the way. Found a good weed. Only 200 bucks. All right. So I took the liberty of taking or putting it together one of my spare controllers. There are 5 screws you have to take out. This isn't a 6-hole. That's where the pinky goes for the modded controller. It's already disconnected. Don't worry, I don't use one. So once you take out these 5 screws, it's going to be a little hard to crack open, probably your first time if you've never done it. So what I suggest is an X-Acto knife or this, even a paper clip, just something that's flat and kind of get in there as long as you don't care if you wedge it. The hardest part about taking it off is when you crack this part open, this thing is going to want to be a real pain in the ass. So what you want to do is just pop it open from the front piece like this and kind of push in on this button. If it comes off, it's fine, because we'll just have to learn to put it back on. So once you take it off, I've already unscrewed everything, so this is going to pop up just a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, it'll pop up. So anyways, you'll have basically 2 screws. A screw here to take out, and you should have a screw right in here to take out. I can't remember if it's this one or this one. One of my controllers had it, one of them didn't. So after you unscrew that, I've already removed my battery in my other one. This one I clipped because it was just in there from me, not from factory. Take a pair of pliers right here. Make sure you hold something on this and then just pull your battery out, and the battery is going to lift right out of this. It'll sit in a little cradle here. Once you're done with that, this part, if it's undone, will come out like so. All right, and your toggles or whatever, they're very easy. Just pull on them. They might seem a little resistant, but they pop right out. So let me get this out of the way. And if I can't put this on, fuck it. So what you have here is you've got these little plastic bands right here that go around the toggles. And use this to hold it so it doesn't go everywhere. So basically, these little plastic bands go all the way around here, and there's one underneath it right here. Sometimes these can come off, and sometimes these get jammed. You're saying that yours is staying forward. If you take this off and you wiggle it, I don't like to use my finger on there, but if you wiggle it like this and it has spring, it has play in it, then you're good to go. If it's just flopping forward, there might have been debris or something that falls in. These cases aren't the greatest as far as keeping stuff out. The holes inside of them compared to these, they leave a gap inside here, especially these little metal anodized ones. So a lot of stuff can fall in there. So just if you want, take a little paper clip or something like that and just start kind of seeing if you can't dig around in there. If you need to clean, if you have it off, and I suggest you do while it's off, take an alcohol prep pad and a pair of tweezers or something, or one of these, let's see, got one of these curled, get one of these ones and then kind of curl a prep pad around it, and you can clean any of the metal on a cell phone or anything like that with alcohol. 70% alcohol or more works just fine. So once you look inside here, if you figure it out that it's debris or something, pick it out and you'll know immediately when you have play. Now on these right here, you'll notice when I move it around, that button right there will move back and forth. Okay, sometimes it gets stuck. It can also cause your controller to lose spring. So what you want to do, just get something in there. You can push on it, you can pull it out, and you should hear a little snap. And then you'll know that it went back into place. On the back side here, this thing goes inside too. That right there, if it gets pushed in somehow and it sits behind here, it's going to want to make this toggle sit forward. So those are pretty much going to be your options as far as something's wrong with the toggle switches going forward. It's either going to be the band, it's going to be this little swivel, kind of like an axle right there, and then it's going to be this little point right there that gets stuck. So that's going to be it. Now, as far as putting your controller back together, here's the shitty things that can happen. This is a giant pain in the ass. I don't know if you can see it right here. But there is a little, it's like a V, and it's a spring, and one side actually has an arm that comes out flat and the other one doesn't. It doesn't really matter which one catches or not. I've done them both. But if these things pop off, if you don't put the spring back on, this thing's just going to flap around and you'll have no button function whatsoever. So what you want to do is you basically just want to have it so this piece right there is is just sitting that direction. And right here inside this little slant, whatever you want to call it, you just take this piece and then you just kind of catch it right there. The shitty part is this little rubber thing. This is the part where you're going to really get pissed off. So I just kind of hold the rubber and go around it like that. And then it'll basically snap right into place. I've already broken this side off, so I know how to put it back in. It can sit, lopsided like that, but the spring basically is going to sit right inside this thing, giving all the play back on your arm. So there's that. That can happen when you're trying to take it apart. The last thing I want to point out is this plastic, which is where it reads all your sensors. Each one of these things has a hole through it, so you can pull it up and stick it inside there. And has a hole that needs to stick inside right over this little thing. I can't tell you how many times I put the controllers back together, and even Flint's done it. He's even told me about it, and they like to pop off at the end. Well, guess what? You're gonna have to find a way just to get it on and not come back off when you reassemble your controller. So those are the things that can really piss you off after you put your controller back together and you're like, oh, it works, and all of a sudden nothing works and you want to kill yourself. So been there, done that. You can be kind of hard and brutal with it, just don't tear it. So right now that's good enough for me. Put it back on, kind of a tricky little shit. It doesn't really matter if I show you this part or not. It's going to be how you snap it back in is the worst. All right. You got to kind of be hard with it sometimes. These corners are going to kind of want to stick up over here in the end. So you want to just kind of... Oh, that one already snapped in. Well, anyway, these pieces right here will sometimes want to stick when you put them in. Just make sure they're all the way down and you won't have to tear the controller back apart. Put it back on. I stick it through there like that. And you want to go kind of in at an angle like this. You want to have this piece in first and pull this one. It's a huge pain in the ass, and this will take you several tries. Trust me, it does with me. Sometimes you even have to take it back out. It's together. You have spring. These things that go in, I mean, I guess I could show you, but they just, honestly, they're just a plastic piece that just go in, they slide right like that. They're simple as shit. So you should have good play on your toggles after you do that. It should bounce back. I break mine right here all the time. I've actually broken this case, and I've actually broken my new one. And not only can you see debris can get inside here, but with it open like that, it can really fucking get in there. So basically I do that, and then I take this as well and I clean it. It just kind of helps not get stuff in there. Like I said, use an alcohol pad, wipe it all, and put it back together. But that's basically going to be the only things that's going to affect your toggle switch. Sorry, I might have been kind of out of it, stuttering words and pretty stoned. But that's the best I can do as far as showing you a video. about it. There are other ones on YouTube, so feel free. If mine came out like gibberish, you know, you can always welcome to check out YouTube, and you might find a better one.